Hi, Judy from Witchpeace Craft. Welcome. Well, what inspired me after the rain and all the flooding, and we're still getting rain. We had sunshine this morning, but we've got rain this afternoon because there's a cyclone off the coast. I've had a busy week running around for appointments and things not allowed to drive. Friday, his day surgery didn't go well, and he wasn't allowed to drive for 7 days. So he's not driving yet either. He could start driving now, but he feels like he needs a couple more days. Anyway, so my time was limited and coming up with inspired projects that wouldn't take a lot. So I decided I'd make some plushie amigurumis. Some things I've made before, I haven't made before, but put them into plushie yarn. And they're quick. Plushie amigurumis, especially no-sew, are really quick, and I can make them in limited time. So the rain inspired me by spiders, frogs, and snakes. Because when it's raining like this, these animals make for higher ground. I don't mind the green frogs, but we get some pretty big spiders and quite a few snakes. So I use that to inspire my crochet lull, because I'm in a bit of a lull at the moment. Anyway, I'll get started. So I decided I'd make some spiders. I've made this pattern before in acrylic yarn, but I decided I'd make this spider in this plushie yarn. It's a fine plushie yarn. Yes, he does have 4 legs either side and these little twitches at the front, whatever they call them. I gave him grey eyes with black sparkly highlights. So I made this with a 3.75mm crochet hook. You'll see why. It is Bella Baby Nippers yarn, which is made for our Spotlight department store. See, it's quite fine chenille. I don't have any of that color left anymore. It recommends a 4.5, but not for amigurumi. It's made in China. It's a 100-gram ball, and there are 90 meters in a ball. It's really easy to work with. It doesn't shed like some plushies. I do like it even though it's fine. Yeah, and I have this color and some other colors I found in my yarn stock. I think a family member bought them for me a few years back, or a year or so back. Can't remember. Like a Christmas box, Secret Santa thing. So this is my huntsman spider. Now, I'll try and do some research and put some pictures of the real huntsman spiders at the end and show you what I'm talking about. We get these pretty big, but they're not venomous. They will bite you and they can make you feel yucky, but yeah, they're just big and scary and hairy. So the next one I made is to represent the bird-eating spider. Now, when we had a property up in Mariba and a few mango trees, we would get bird-eating spiders, and believe me, they come this big. Ta-da! They are big spiders. And this is my representation of a bird-eating spider. The tutorial and pattern, because there is a pattern on Etsy for this, is Josweb's Leggy spider. I'm not sure he turned out as well as she would make him, but yes, I think that's because I used a really thick, like a number 7 yarn. It's a mill but it's really thick yarn, and it was hard to work with, but it did turn out reasonably well. So that was spider number 2, my bird-eating spider. And I used on that because it was so thick. What did I use? I've got notes here. A 6mm hook, which is really big for me. I don't usually go that big. So what did I make next? Well, I like frogs, and green frogs are under threat because of all our cane toads, and when we see them, we do take photos. I've probably got some old photos up on YouTube, but if I find one, I'll put it at the end with the representation of a huntsman spider and a bird-eating spider. So, frogs, what did I do? Well, I was on a kick for Josweb, and I made her leggy frog. I've made these before. They do sell, even her leggy spider, which I've made in smaller yarn. This is just mill ends. It's like a variegated green, and I made a leggy frog. And I really like them. The kids love them. I don't usually make a lot of them, but that's another one to go into my inventory for my next craft market. I then tried a new pattern that was introduced on Instagram. It's a free pattern by Tracy at Travel Crochet. I'll put a link to her channel in the description below. All the patterns, if I can, I'll put links in the description below so you can check them out. She did a first ever pattern for, and I hope I've got his name right, Bob the Big Booty Frog. Now, I made one, and I don't know what I did wrong. I think I went up his bottom twice, but there he is. That was number one, and I thought he's not quite as good as hers in the pattern, but he does have big booty. And I have this green, which is a very thick green as well, and I decided to do a second one because he's very cute, and he turned out much better. I really think I did something wrong around the eyes here. Even though I did bobble stitches, they seem small. But yes, my big booty frogs. And it is a free pattern by our lovely friend and YouTuber, Tracy at Travel Crochet. She goes by Travel Crochet, but you can see he's got big booty. And I have two of those. So they're going in my inventory. And I was watching her, and she'd done a flippy frog from Ribler. And I decided last week, I think, to join Ribler to see if I could find patterns. Now, I didn't write down whose pattern this is, but I will put it in the link in the description below. This is the Flippy Frog. Ta-da! I don't think I did as great a job as Tracy of hers. Probably my yarn isn't as good. Mill ends again. But I did think he turned out really cute. And as all of them, I haven't used any artificial eyes. They're all embroidered eyes that I've made. But that is my Flippy Frog. And I do like him. And I'm going to try and make him again and perfect him a little bit. Things said his eyes look like boobs. That's my husband for you. Anyway, they're my frogs that were inspired by what I've been seeing this week. The other thing, which I'm not keen on seeing, but we do see a few, when it rains and it's flooding rain, we get a lot of what they call slaty grey snakes. They come up on the patio. They do try and get in the house. They hide in plant pots. They won't hurt you seriously. They will make you sick, and they're more scared of you than them. They will take off. But yeah, that's usually the one we see. The dangerous ones are the taipan and the eastern brown. And I can't say that I've ever seen them. I know Thing used to come across them in his work, especially taipans, and they're deadly. So, my snakes. Well, I started with, mainly for the Kaleidoscope Mal, which is with Ella at No Catchy Name. I wanted to use this rainbow yarn up, and I have made them before, and the kids do like them because I do sell them cheap. And he is called a little New Year's Eve snake. Now, what I have done different here is, and that's because of the kids, it's a Ravelry pattern. It is a free pattern. You knit the head and then you start and go back and join the tail to it. But you don't stuff this part. You leave it empty. And I have sold them, but a few of the kids said, oh, it's a pity it's not stuffed. So this one I did decide to stuff. This is Marvel 8-ply print. I think it's called Parrot, the colour, which is a spotlight yarn, which is a 3-weight. And I did do him really tight. Did I put what hook I used on him? I think for him, I used a 3mm to get it really tight so the stuffing wouldn't come out. He's got little eyes and face. They're sort of lost in the colour. You can see them when you're looking at them, but not on camera. So that's the first snake. He's just over a foot long, I think. Then I decided, because I keep looking at it and thinking what a waste of money, I'll use up more of this Parfait Chunky Purple, the last bit of it that's in that first ball that literally falls apart when I touch it. And I made this snake. This is just freehand, no pattern. And I made him little eyes in. He's a skinny little snake, slightly longer than my last one. Took a bit of work with this. It's called Eggplant, this colour. I really think I got a dud ball and I I think I've got 2 dud balls and they're basically mainly all gone now. There might be a little bit left. I then decided I'd make another bigger snake using the Parfait Chunky. I used a bit of the eggplant and I have 1 ball of this left. This is peacock. Now the peacock color balls were much better than the eggplant balls. It's still difficult for me to work with, but it didn't fall apart in my hands. I love his eyes. I think he's been my best snake. Everyone said his eyes look great. So that's that snake. And then part of the Kaleidoscope mount, and if you haven't seen my video, it'll be up here somewhere, the Charity Shop Challenge. I highly recommend you have a go in and join in. It's a lot of fun. I decided I'd make a snake with yarn I found at a charity shop. This is Millens. It's modelly pink, orange, grey, white. And this was some Red Heart Super Saver. And I decided I'd make this longer snake. Ta-da! Last year I did 2 snakes. I think that one was a temperature snake and was for my make along. Like I pick a project and I did snakes. But this year it's Year of the Snake. So I now have 4 snakes to go into my inventory for my market stall. I really like them. They were really easy to freehand. A quick project with plushie yarn. They and when I'm time poor, so to speak. But yes, they're my snakes. 4 snakes, 2 spiders, 4 frogs. I'm not keen on making spiders. They never quite turn out the way I'd like to. Estimation to make this snake from a charity shop. When you think I paid $9 for a ball of this, and these are currently on special for about $4.50. This snake with the bit of black and white from charity shops, the pink and the modelly pink chenille yarn, and the stuffing, total cost to make this snake $4 from a charity shop or op shop or thrift shop. So that's why you should join in my charity shop challenge and have some fun. I'll post a picture later of yarn I picked up the other day and some crochet hooks from a charity shop. It was, even the lady at the counter said, oh, what a bargain, how come I missed that? But yes, I found some, look, not quality yarn, but it will make a nice charity blanket if that's what I decide to use it for. So come back next video, I'll show that. I'm being all over the place with crocheting and knitting. I am procrastinating. What do they call it? I think they call it procrastinating to create, because I can't make up my mind what I'm doing. I start something, I'm like, if it needs sewing, like an amigurumi that needs sewing, and I do have 1 or 2 of those on the go, I'll get so far and I won't sew them together for ages. Look, it took me, I probably did him on Monday and only finished him yesterday, Saturday. And that was, he was all made, it's just I had to sew on things. And I'm just not in the mood at the moment. Even for big crochet projects, I'll do, or knitting projects, I might do 2 or 3 rows and then think, oh, I've got to do something else. So yes, my crocheting is procrastinating is, I think that's how you pronounce it, all over the place. Just can't make up my mind what to do. So the next video may be just a bit of this and a bit of that, but definitely come back and see my charity shop purchases, because I did really well. Okay, until next time, have some fun, take care, stay safe. Tell me in the comments below what inspired your project this week. Mine was the rain and the little creatures that come out when it's flooding. Bye for now.